ago. I tweeted out, DM me your unpopular opinions. I'll tweet out a few. Let's see what people feel. Obviously, you might not want to tweet out. You might not have the reach for anyone to even see it. And I don't have much reach, but I'll at least tweet it out and you can see what people think about your opinion. I had a bunch of people. I was not expecting that many people to kind of send me their opinions. I tweeted some out. Some got some good reception, some didn't. I'm going to roll through some of them. I want to get your opinion. See if you agree or disagree.
So I'm going to give my hot take on their unpopular opinion.
Yes.
I bet.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. So the first one I posted was unpopular opinion. There shouldn't be an FOV slider. Fortnite is more fair without it. Agree or disagree, Monster?
I disagree. I think players should have the option and the ability to play to their comfort. And yeah, if it was like that, I think we'd have more of a skill gap because people get, like I said, get comfortable. Yeah. So where I see where they're coming from, I think they're completely wrong because everyone or every device can totally handle FOV. So I think you're wrong.
I like that. I think that's a fair take. I definitely am a fan of being able to give people the freedom to feel comfortable.
That's like saying every person should have the same sensitivity. Are you out of your mind? You know what I mean? That guy's crazy. It doesn't make sense. That's like saying all your brothers should have the same name. For what? I'm just gonna be confused. I'm never gonna know who's who. So no, we need FOV sliders.
No, 100%. Nah, I think that's a fair take because I think it's not. I don't think it's fair for us to say that we should all just have the same because it makes it fair. Like you should be able to feel comfortable within the game. Simple as, right? So yeah, this is the next one. The next one that I will ask you is: Season 9 was the best season for Fortnite. The meta was insane and the map was at its best. This one, a lot of people agreed with. Like a lot of people agreed with this. Do you remember much of Season 9? I sometimes get like all the seasons blurred in my head. Like I don't know what season it is.
This sounds like Baller season because Season 10 was Mech season.
Yeah.
So right before Mechs, we had Ballers. Was Season 9 the best season in the game? I think mobility was at it was near peak. We were just shy of the introduction of slipstreams. Season 9 was a good season. I think the prime of the map happened before the slipstreams though. Personally, I like the slips, but I didn't like the way that the center of the map was just a crap fest, man. People were way too easy to land on you in third party and whatnot, and I think that took away from the experience a little bit. So I would go just prior to slipstreams being introduced to the game. I think that was the best map that this game ever introduced. Yeah. Outside of that though, I mean, I don't hate the game right now where the map is. I think the reason a lot of us aren't attached to the current map is because we don't have the launch pads to really just take in the world, right? We're just now getting comfortable where players rotate through and all that good stuff. And the one difference in the current map compared to the old one, the reason people like the old map, those high mountains that we all hate when end games ended on, were the reason why you knew exactly where players are going to funnel through. Those same exact valleys you know what I mean? Those same exact valleys that we hate at those end games where you have to go up those mountains, those are the same places where you knew you were going to find players. So people love the old map because it was almost predictable. Your rotations, everything was so predictable. This new map is a lot more is a lot harder to take in. It's a little bit more flat, right? So players can be anywhere.
Yeah, definitely agree. Obviously, people in the chat have made me aware that was World Cup season. And I know for a fact, just in general, that was just such an amazing time in terms of the comp scene because everyone was enjoying it, everyone was making money, everyone was hyped for the World Cup. So I think in general, right, that was just a great time in Fortnite. But I do agree with you, man. People, once we don't have this season anymore, let's say Epic, turn things around and make big changes, people are going to miss this season. People are going to regret, like, not appreciating the season for what it was, man, because this is, really and truly, this is like the first season in so long where we don't have much to complain about. Like, we really don't have much to complain about when it comes to the actual game, the map, etc. People just being nitpicky, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about how we lived through the entire first half of Fortnite with everyone crying about shotguns. You don't see shotgun posts up on Reddit anymore like, oh, I hit a blank, or my gosh, where was my pump shot? You know what I mean? They've really found a proper level of balance as far as the gunplay goes in Fortnite. If anything, everyone's nitpicking the lack of new stuff right now, which, yo, man, this next season, I hope it's gonna be a banger. I hope we get this map change, this chaos engine. It better be fire, bro. Like, I'm telling you, this next season could be such a dope one if they just just subtly introduce, like, just, tweak the map, give us a new feel to the game, but don't break the movement and stuff. Like, man, this next season could be so fire. I'm excited.
And really split the pools so that we can at least test things before they come in. 'Cause I know people were saying like the pools were split, but then there was like side grading that went straight into comp and weird things like that. So let's see how they handle it. I've definitely, like you said, I've definitely been more impressed with the way they've done things, and if they can subtly start to add new things, that'd be exciting. Next one.
Just one thing I want to touch on for the competitive stuff. Whoever's telling the players or the developers what to activate in comp, he's doing a great job, because they brought harpoons also into comp. Let's not forget that, without asking anyone, and it fit in. Just the same way they did side grading, and it fit in. So far they've been spot on with the small changes they've made to comp while keeping the pools separate. So whoever's spearheading that, as long as he continues to use his good judgment and keep it balanced, I think comp is going to stay in a good place.
All right, I like that take. Next one, removing jump fatigue in game would advance the building meta and increase the skill gap. Agree or disagree?
I mean, I could see where it would definitely change the way building works, but no, we don't need to give these creative warriors more reasons to infinite 90. Like,
no. I get you.
Keep jump fatigue, dude.
I think I found that one an interesting one, because that's something I'd never actually thought about, right? I never thought about how would that affect things in game. And obviously the first thing that goes to mind is like the creative warriors, but I was thinking there might be something just simple that happens in comp games regularly that would just be so different if you had jump fatigue. Obviously the main thing I just think of is just cranking for height, right? Like people just wouldn't stop. There'd be no difficulty in doing it. And like you said, I don't think we should be giving these creative grinders even more reason. I don't know though. I think it could be interesting, right, down the road maybe, but at the same time, right now I don't think it's needed. Like I feel like a lot of people always want things that just right now aren't really needed, and I don't think that's something that's necessarily needed right now. What's the next one? I want to give you? Okay, next one I want to give you. Heavy sniper doesn't need to be removed. Every competitive shooter has a one-shot sniper, and it shouldn't be different now because you get unlucky. Agree or disagree?
No way. Heavy sniper needs to stay out the game. I love the idea of having something that could break into boxes like the heavy sniper, but no way. Its shields are way too hard to come across, let alone sustain. The body damage is ridiculous on that bad boy, and this game does have a one-shot. It's the burst rifle if you have all 3 headshots, and it's the snipers. The snipers can hit headshots. So to be fair, we do have it. So
yeah, I like this one. Tim McD from Hotline FN, he had a great response to this that I'll read out. He said, "Hard disagree. Fortnite isn't a competitive shooter, and even if it was, well, they have one. Has never been a good reason for anything, which is true. Well, they have one, we should have one. I don't think that's good reasoning. I didn't really like that take too much. But yeah, I think we'll probably do 1 or 2 more. Then I'll let you go. I know you're a busy guy. So which ones are interesting? There should be mobility in solos, and mat cap change for solos. Example 750, 750, 750. Agree or disagree?
I think we've all gotten comfortable with the mat cap right now. If you increase it anymore, players are going to have more reason to sit around and farm, or be salty that their drop spot isn't as good as someone who owns lodges where you get infinite pallets and they're maxed out way faster. So I think where the 555 cap is, it helps Fortnite create an actual world that's more balanced, because not every POI has to be perfectly balanced, right? There should be stronger ones and there should be, weaker ones. That way players have a risk versus reward where they want to land. I think the 555 cap is like literally perfect, man. It's pretty good. If anything, they can raise the wood count, lower the metal, and like median out the brick, which that could work, but I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, I remember they tried that. I can't remember how I felt about that. They tried that a long time ago. They had 750 wood, 500 brick, and 250 metal.
Right.
I'm a fan of the way things are now. I get where people like. To be honest, I think this whole like mat cap argument is only a response really for people, like it's used as a response for people trying to say, oh, now that we can't pickaxe swing, what are we gonna do? We don't have enough mats to rotate. Give us more mats, and then we won't need to pickaxe swing, which I think is dumb because pickaxe swing has always been in the game and it always will be no matter how many mats you have in the game. But
the only reason pickaxe swing's an epidemic right now is because of the state of the mobility, though.
Yeah.
It's almost like they asked for it to happen, because if we were able to move, it wouldn't even be a problem.
I think I just feel like as much as it is a thing, because obviously you don't see as much pickaxe swinging in duos and trios anyway, right? We've only seen it blow up this season really in solos, where you just get rotations where it's like, guys, we cannot fight, we need to move. But obviously you get the cheeky people who want to take fights and whatnot, and people who just don't know what they're doing. I'm really interested to see further, obviously, because there was obviously, there's still a lot of questions about pickaxe swinging and being able to collusion and all of that stuff that needs to be answered. But regardless of that, I think the way the mats are pretty fine. Somebody here said, rotation items are essential to Fortnite as a game. Without them, basically every endgame is identical, and if there isn't anything added, comp will get very, very boring. Agree or disagree, Monster?
Disagree, man. Endgame Fortnite comp was going to be a pop-off fest no matter what. PAX South was a testament to that. We watched an amateur tournament, and this kid, Mark, went off, man. So I totally disagree. I think there's proof in the tournaments that we've had recently, proof in the competition. Yeah, the game might feel the same, just because, endgame Fortnite is always going to be the same, but mobility doesn't determine that. I think where the mobility really structures out is it makes the game harder. It makes competitive harder. You have to be so much more smarter. You have to be a master at conserving material and knowing when to take free rotations, risk reward, etc. So I think the skill gap on this season is at an all-time high, and a lot of people can't keep up. So they express themselves through their frustration.
Yeah, I think in general, right, when it comes to the idea that every end game is identical, I don't agree with that at all. Like, if you watch the highest levels of comp, every game, obviously a problem that people had is that there hasn't been much broadcasting, but where I've casted events and I've seen events casted, the game doesn't feel the same. I think if you're playing at a lower level, like let's say it's the cash cups, right? Everybody's first game, right, feels the same in the cash cups because you know how it goes. You W key, the end game's not too stacked. Like, I get that, right? That might feel like it's the same. But in general, like at the highest levels, because that's mostly what I care about. I'm not a comp player, so I don't really care about what's going on in lower points cash cups. But at the highest level competitive, I don't feel like it's the same at all. I feel like there's still room for people to improve and for new metas to be developed. So I don't. If you enjoyed the segment you just watched, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Leven2K. And if you want to listen to the full podcast, you can listen to it over on Spotify, Apple, and Podbean. It's just the Leven Show. And if you want to watch the full version on YouTube, that will be up on Mondays at around 8 GMT. Hope you guys enjoy it.